29.
20.
27.
26.
25.
24. 23.
22.
21.
20 seconds.
19.
18. 17.
16.
15.
14.
13.
12.
11. 10.
9.
8.
7.
6.
5.
4. 3.
2. 1. 0. Let's show him what some real dragon fire looks like. You shall not pass.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. Here we are. Pops Talk is back after all sorts of shenanigans going on in my life, but it's great to be back. Mags will be here any minute now. She got delayed, but with us is our special guest, Matt, a.k.a. A Common Idiot. Thank you, my friend. Thanks for fitting us in and doing this. I know it's been, I don't know, hurricanes and family stuff and life. But you know what? Here we are. Let's do it. Let's talk nerdy stuff.
Hey, appreciate you having me on. Love it. Love being here.
It's been a great journey, and it's been awesome getting to know you and your content. I'm a big fan and love supporting you and whatever. So I think everybody here will enjoy our conversation. So lots to talk about tonight. We obviously there's tons of Disney content that I put up in there. You know, She-Hulk and Andor were both enduring that sadistically in many, many ways. I don't know if you had a chance to catch Werewolf by Night. I definitely have seen that. I've been trying to catch up on Cobra Kai to everyone's recommendations. I finished season 1, so maybe I'll give an update on that. Mags will again give us an update on Ring of Power. I've not devoted more than 2 minutes of my life, so she will be the sole person on that. And there's some other stories that are happening, so you know, plenty to talk about. So
Absolutely.
well, let's get to this wonderful chat, my friend. It is freaking amazing to see everybody here so quick. Spitfire Mark, man, thank you so much for kicking things off tonight. It's awesome. My brother, Joker Voice. He says, I'm awake. We can start now. In Joker Voice, he's kicked it off. Yes, our member. Oh, so much, man. Thank you so much for becoming a member and partner with me. And let's just do content together, man. Let's just do it. So for you, let's kick things off here with just a fun, great way to just have a pause and a laugh and say thanks. So how about let's see, for Joker Voice, let's do this. Let's do this for Joker.
Well, I mean, is it the or the?
Is it the Franco beans? I don't know. It looks like I think it's a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. It's a little bit of both. Thank you, Joker. Awesome, my friend. Thank you so much. And yes, the memberships did go live. It's been this old dog is trying to learn some tricks, Matt, and it is not easy. You were ahead of me a little bit. We messaged about it a little bit, and I was just like, I don't know. And then I changed. Like I have a horrible typing problem with the word squad, and I always spell it wrong. It always is squared, and I don't know why. No matter anytime I would do a review on Suicide Squad, it was constant. So yeah, I made one typo and had to go through the entire review process again. I was like, oh my gosh, you're killing me.
I realized mine back like so many times because I didn't know what I wanted to do, and it's like,
yes.
And then every time you had to go through the process. So I'm right there with you.
That's it. Well, Joker, enjoy the emojis. I've been playing around with emojis because I just put stuff in there, and then I realized, well, an emoji technically is like an image that means something. Like, so I try to make them. There's a Bob Ross chill one. There's a talk hard one, which of course is on brand. So I try to come up with some stuff that would kind of work. So, but yes, that's also happened. So, Spitfire Mark, you just come on back whenever you're ready. Princess Leia Rose is here. Hey there, lady. She's going to join me on a show soon. We got to get our schedules to line up. We're ready to have her. Mags is stuck in some traffic. She will be with us any minute. Bifer, thank you, my friend. Awesome to have you with us. It's always great to hear your input and jumping right in. Oh man, the Magic Man himself. Oh, Andy Masterson. Oh, it's so great. And my gosh, brother, that freaking Fauci head today. He showcased on Twitter. If you haven't seen it, folks, go over and at least keep up with Andy. He is my Andy is my modern day Bob Ross. It's just that I can listen to him working on stuff, and he has a great voice for it. And I can kind of look over, see a little bit as I'm doing other stuff. And the 1/6 scale figures are freaking amazing. And I was blessed with an interview with Andy, and it was awesome. So, and of course, another great member, this guy right here. Look at this. Jumping in here, Matt. I appreciate it so much. Oh, you're freaking great. Thank you so much. And for you, let's see what we can do for you, man. Have something to make your body smile a little bit. How about some milk and some cats? Let's milk some.
I went in and just simply, oh yeah, you can milk anything with nipples.
I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
Yeah, that one. So you can't really hear the thank you part in the beginning. But hey, listen, it still makes me smile every time. That one never gets old. Never gets old. I gotta be honest. If you have recommendations, I'll be happy to try to jot them down for little clips. And you know how it is playing the YouTube game. And for those of you who are at home that don't know how to play this, Matt, I don't even knew this or not, but you can just act like you're uploading it. You just don't let it go all the way through if you don't want to, but let it go through the copyright check to see if they're going to flag it or not.
Oh, no, I didn't. That's why that was one thing I had to ask, because I don't know any of those games. Like, I see people put cool videos. Mm-hmm. I'm like, how do they get away with that stuff? Because I've done it before and I get nailed immediately. So it's like, haven't messed around with it too much. But
well, I posted today. I said, you always got to fight the fight. So feel free to message me if you need suggestions. So what I did was on Blazing Saddles, we got flagged literally for something that we were talking over. And then it plays for a little bit. So what I did was I found the spot, because what it'll do is it'll recommend the flag. Let's say it's 20 seconds. Mm-hmm. Listen to the whole thing and figure out, when are you not talking? If you're talking over it like I do. Yeah. And I shaved off 2 seconds of us not talking right before the joke. And that was enough to get it through. Oh. It's taken me forever because they flagged it for inappropriate content. It's Blazing Saddles.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
But we got through that. That actually was very minor. And it wasn't even the offensive parts of the movie. It was just, it's an offensive movie, which we went back and forth on. Listen, I can still react to something that's offensive as long as I'm not being offensive. Like, that's two different things. So, but yeah, you always have to fight the fight. But that is a little trick, folks. If you upload something, you can watch it go through the copyright claim process during the upload, and you can kind of see if they're going to flag it or not. Now, again, it's YouTube. Nothing is set in stone with these people, folks. They will change their mind on a heartbeat. That's how I lost one of my old channels. Actually, I co-owned a channel with a lot of other people. And back then there wasn't that little clip option, and there wasn't, it's like you were just flagged and you had no idea what to do. You would have to take the video down to put them back. And I'm not doing all that.
Yeah.
So, Joker voice is also, let's see, enduring the proper way to describe enduring. I went with tedious. So, oh, the man, there he is from Europe. He's on the road, my friends. Zax, by the way, if you can't afford to go to Europe like me, but you want to enjoy some sights, just watch Zax's content. It's great, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you for sharing. Dean Krantz is an OG right there. Thank you, Dean. Thanks for hanging out with me. Yes, squad. I know, Dean. I know. I need to put like a tape over the R whenever I try to type squad for some reason. Yeah, I know. Yeah, technically it always comes out squad leader. Yes. And yes, Joker, you were my first member. Thank you so much again for that, brother. It is awesome. I appreciate it so much. And Matt, I appreciate it. It's really
great. Love the content, man. I definitely something I want to be a part of, and I love watching. I just watched your interview where you guys are talk hard on Army of Darkness. I was listening to that this morning.
Yeah, we were having a good time with that movie for sure. And the boys are way more into that than me, which I think is even is even a better experience because you get different perspectives on that. Mm-hmm. And Yeah, I got to be honest. I didn't really have it written down, but I think I may just do a quick little Evil Dead / Evil Dead 2 review, or at least I hate calling it a review because I don't want to do like a review. I just want to do like so kind of like I did a Hellbound, Hellraiser 2.
Yep, listened to that earlier.
Revisit, which was me going, I really didn't enjoy this nearly as much as I thought, which was me complaining like this one didn't hold up for me. Really sorry if you guys like it, that's cool, but for me, I'm like I like these 3 little pieces. Yeah, so I may do that with Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, which I had to rewatch. But yeah, thanks for that, man. I appreciate it. So no, this has been a crazy experience for me because I don't check numbers, but when I check numbers, I deep dive and I kind of see that out. I didn't expect to even be monetized until October, and now memberships and everything else has kicked in, and I crossed 1,500. I'm like, this is just crazy. And the Indian cinema stuff, I know is part of that because there are a lot of folks that love the fact that I will give their movies a fair evaluation and try to explain why some of them won't work here. Like there are certain ones that like Americans are not going to like this one. Like this is why, things like that. So Mike is here from Pacific. Hey man, thank you so much. We definitely have to connect and have Mike back on. Great content as well. He does a pop talk without the S. The S is on brand. So Dean's trying to keep me honest. I appreciate it so much. Lovely Sherry is here. Hey, lovely Sherry. Thanks for spending time with this lady. We appreciate having you. So let's see. Montage of history of the Joker. Caesar, Jack, Mark, ending with Heath. There we go. Just for me and only me. Fine with that. Oh, you know what? That would be a fun little video to do for a member, especially since you were the first one. It would be like a fun way to play homage and thanks to Joker. So you know what? I will do Joker over the years.
That'd be a good video too to break it down. There's a lot. I'm not sure I can do.
Yeah, I don't even know how I could do it justice. Like I don't want to be on there for like 3 hours, but I can almost do that because I'm because you know how much of a Batman nerd I am. And I've actually sent you some comics. So they will go out tomorrow. I got them all boxed up today. Finally, I had to find the right size. Shipping comics is a hassle, and somebody's asked for me to do a video, and I haven't done it because I have to figure out how to collect enough of the material. Because usually when I have to ship, it's like, okay, now I got to go find the stuff I need. I don't store it. I run this little tiny eBay store. I don't have a shop anymore. I got out of that. That's a lot of work, bro. It's a lot of work.
I can't imagine.
Jacob Ironside's here. Hey man, thanks for joining me. We'll be on with Jacob on the 20th. We're going to talk Jaws.
Truly, that's going to be a good one.
Truly,
that's a whole stream in itself.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's one of my GOAT films. Like it's one of those. Like I don't like saying what's your favorite film of all time because it's hard to compare like a horror film and an action film and a comedy. But if you didn't live through it, folks, and I was way too young to see Jaws in theaters. My aunt, the babysitter, a horrible babysitter in my opinion, in hindsight, as someone who has kids, she took me. So I was literally 5 years old in Jaws. I cried and screamed because I would not get into a bathtub when I went home. My mother was not happy, and she didn't even quite know why. My aunt had to come clean. But to go through that and realize that is why we have popcorn movies, that's why we have summer movies, is only because of Jaws. And I've always wanted to find someone to do a stream with on this, is to really kind of like analyze. And I always ask the question, if anyone wants to talk about it, I always ask is, would Jaws be such a classic if the shark worked? Because I don't think it would be. I don't think it would.
Didn't it alter a bunch of the shots the way they did everything because it was so busted
almost
all
everything?
The time? Yeah,
that's why all the barrels were used, because it was like the shark won't work.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched the outtakes where they have no sound or anything? Like it's just the shark. You hear all. Oh yeah, you should. I assume it's on YouTube. Everything else is. Try to find one where it's the raw footage of Jaws and you hear the mechanics and it goes. You hear it going. You hear it moving and stuff, and it's like, what on earth? But the vision it takes to think about, the sound and the score and all that. Yeah, it's if we didn't have barrels, because the barrels puts it in your brain, right? This stuff just constantly happening, and you don't know exactly how big this thing is and where. Yeah,
well, that's what made the movie so great, was that slow build of showing the size and scope of that shark. Like that was, I think if they exposed it too soon, it wouldn't have been as that last scene wouldn't be as impactful.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I for me, my biggest argument would be it would not be a classic because it would have aged poorly. Like it just because not because I want a CGI version, because God, Lord help us, no. But I think that people would look at it in a lot cheesier way because the shark would be so prominent in the film. So. Well, Dean Krantz, we obviously agree. And if you didn't see all of the Army of Darkness last night. I'm pretty sure you were there for at least a portion of it. Feel free to check that out, folks. Let's see. Soul Assassin. Hey there, my friend. Squat Leader. Appreciate the names. He's always throwing out names for me. I've got. I hope you're keeping track, Soul Assassin. I don't have a list. I don't have a list. Oh, he's on sketchy Wi-Fi. Oh, well, you're in Europe, man. I mean, you're lucky you have Wi-Fi. So
yeah, I mean,
gotta be honest. Trying to keep up. It's okay. Good luck. I'm trying to keep up, and whatever. So, a pop-spective video. Now, I got to be honest. That's never come up. That is a great on-brand. Soul Assassin, you did it again. I'm going to write that down. That may be a good way of, instead of putting the word review there, may just put pop-spective.
Yeah,
that's actually. See, you're nodding too. You think so? I think so too.
I would. Yeah, that's definitely something that's now yours.
Yeah, I'm going to try it with both the. Yeah, I think little like the pop spec. That is really, really good. That's really, really good. So, Bifer is plugging the Indian cinema. And listen, man, I've got a little playlist. I try to break it down into good, bad, and indifferent. I will tell you the worst of the Indian cinema movies I've seen was the one that went to Netflix. I don't think it was technically Indian cinema. I think it was a Netflix product. So that one's called Darlings. That's the one that I would least recommend. It's just, it's meant to be dark comedy. And I don't. Have you ever seen like Death of Smoochie? Do you remember that movie?
Yes. Oh, yeah, with Robin Williams.
Yeah. Yes, incorrect. Right. I think Edward Norton. Right. Anyway.
Yeah.
You know how it takes a certain person to like that, right? It's like not for everyone.
Yeah, it's a different movie.
Imagine that not going well. That's kind of how Darlings was. Like it's meant to be that, but it doesn't translate well for us because it's like you wouldn't do that. You would call the cops, or you wouldn't do this. You would do. It's like it doesn't work. And this has come up with a couple of their films. Looks like I've got a couple of them that I have connected with to help me, and I'm like, I don't understand this culturally because for us, this person would be in trouble, or we would do this, and they had to kind of explain some of the culture of why certain things work. That was one that missed the most for us anyway. So, now that is an episode of Talk Hard, a Joker history. Oh, you know what? Okay, we could do it that way. I thought you wanted something like to pay honor to you because you were number one. But if you wanted to talk hard, I will pros. The boys will definitely be down with it. The problem is we're going to be really hard with scheduling probably until after the first of the year because we have a couple things already in the hopper for November and December. And I think. I don't want to distract too much, but yeah, we have some stuff in the hopper, so we'll talk about that. So, justice for Pippa the dog.
I know that was the worst part.
Oh, I gotta write that down. That's good. I've got to find myself like someone who can help with like graphic design for T-shirts because I would love to have like a Pippa the dog, justice for Pippa the dog shirt. That'd be
just
great.
Just the stick
something
floating in the water.
Something, yeah. Just gotta have something. So, you can do that, Pops, and I'll do a full makeup and costume. Oh boy, I need to do a Joker voice. Like, just get like a little because I have 2 Batman sort of intros, like the Pops on Pop Culture thing from back, and that was the full brand name. Which, by the way, if those of you don't know, I kind of lost the on pop culture thing because there was a podcast people who did it. And I was like, oh crap, I can't even keep myself separate. Like, 'cause I didn't want to get mixed up with them. So, man, the chat is going bonkers, man. We're never going to get to a conversation because we're like, we've gone for almost 20 minutes and we haven't even talked to each other about hardly anything. This is nuts. This is crazy. So
it's a good problem to have, Pops.
Well, you know what? That's very true. So I'd love to favorite list by genre. Yeah, I've thought about doing something like that. Poltergeist is my Jaws. The TV snow gave you anxiety. Whew, yeah. Poltergeist is where my clown phobia was birthed.
Okay, yeah. You and a lot.
I have a lot of anxiety, and so here's how it went for me, Matt. So that's where it started because my sister had a doll very similar. Like they used to have, it was very common. You'd have these life-size type dolls for little kids. Had one of those dolls. Creeped me out because back in then they used to have these like glassy looking eyes and stuff on dolls. And I'm like, oh my gosh. About the time that I'm getting over it and I'm feeling better, that's when the TV It came out, which of course Tim Curry's freaking sewer scene freaked me out. But it wasn't until recently where I kind of relived some of this with my daughter because she's got a little bit of the clown thing too. And she talked a bunch of smack to me about it when the It movie came out. And I said, there's no way you could sit through that movie. I could sit through it more than you could, Dad. Okay, it's on, girl. So This was the It story. For those of you who don't know the clown in the It story. So I'm like, okay, so we have to. So I get a copy of the first one, the part 1, and we're watching it. And it's this creepy spot where his face pops into the camera, like on these stairs, like it's a jump scare.
Yeah.
At that exact moment, my other daughter came home from work, and so it's late at night, and the door pops open, but she didn't step in quite. It's like there's just a beat difference. So there's a jump scare, door flies open. I about peed myself, had to leave for a minute. Oh, yeah. But I did see It 2 in theaters. I got through almost all of it without even having to just make a bathroom break or two. But I did okay. But it was rough. It is rough. I do not want any part of that. And the worst part is my granddaughter. I don't know what she watched that has a clown in it. It freaked her out. So she has like this massive, I don't want to go to the bathroom when it's, yeah. And who am I to help? I'm freaking.
It's like, I understand, honey.
She's going to find out the truth. She's like, Pop's the freaking hypocrite. I'm not listening to him. The suspense of not seeing the shark made the film. I agree. I absolutely agree. And let's see. Delayed gratification. Yeah, absolutely great. There he is. There's the Pops mod. Whoop, my whole screen moved. Chris Persia, the Pops mod.
Hey, Chris.
Pop-O-Matics. Wow, Pop-O-Matics. They are on fire tonight, man. I got to write down Pop-O-Matics. That's freaking
That's a good
great.
one, too.
I know. My Pop-O-Matics. Wow, that's freaking great. He's the Pop mods. He got to keep everything on. So I am just another reason Pops and Aircraft and St. Conf both left-handed. Oh yeah. I'm in my right mind. So that's why I tell people. Joker wants a voice. So he wants to talk hard to do Joker in makeup and an homage video. Don't get it twisted. I got you, my friend. I know I can send your way. I know a guy I can send your way for graphic design. Yeah, I got a couple people I probably should reach out to, and it's just also being lazy and also not having money. Hence the reason that you keep working through things, hoping that's all I want it for. I'm not gonna live on YouTube, that's for sure. My older brother's girlfriend was the first woman to graduate from clown school in Detroit. Oh Lord, help me! My childhood was full of clowns because of that great fun. Oh my gosh. Okay, we've got to pause. Claude, thank you, sir, hopping in. Oh, I almost at 2. Okay, bye for beep beep Richie. They all float down. Oh gosh, beep beep. Please, you guys, I can't tell you my personal stuff. Y'all gonna try to be mean to me. That's not gonna happen. So, and currently one of my best friends is in common with you with clowns. So I bought him a clown wig, threw it at him. Dean, that's not cool, man. Not cool at all. Not cool at all. So there was a time we took the kids to a circus, had free passes, and we sat at the second level bowl, and they started kind of walking around, and my wife just kept looking over because we had all the kids in between us. So there's all these kids in between us, and she just kept looking over because I said, "Listen, I'm going right up that ramp. If it even comes, I'm just leaving." Because I don't know about you, man, but I fear it would try to spook me, and I would literally punch it in the face and go to jail for some sort of misdemeanor. I literally would do it because I'm like, it's a freaking clown. I can't stand them.
Yeah, it's why haunted houses and stuff. I'm like, just keep. I don't like the jump scares. Don't touch me. I might react. Yeah, I don't even know how you could hold that against someone. Like the whole point is you scared me. It doesn't my fault. I smacked you. So. Yeah. Gray's chiming in from Japan. Hey there, my friend. Remember Crazy Clowns from Outer Space? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And of course, I said hi to Clud. And Killer Clowns. Yeah. And then Castle's in the house. Hey, man. Think of it as a clown scalp. That makes it a little better, I suppose. That makes it a little better. So, okay. Well, as I said, Mags will be with us anytime. She was stuck in some traffic and stuff like that. She'll be late, but she'll be here at some point. Matt, you have been enduring Andor. Let's start Andor because that was the freshest for me. We're all caught up. Yep. And it was really interesting hearing people and seeing things. And I actually clicked a little thing on Twitter after I do my review because I always do my review cold, freaking crack of dawn when I'm half asleep, but I got through it. And my assessment was this. You can watch my video. Well, it's not the worst episode in the world, and yet I still don't really care. Like certain things kind of happen, but all right. Yeah, you saw the one that came out yesterday, right? This episode 6.
Is that today's? I think it's today, right?
Yeah,
midnight, this morning.
Yeah. Okay. It wasn't. Yeah. So, well, you tell me because I didn't watch your review yet, but I saw it this morning. Yeah, woke up early to see it. What did you think about it? Oh, that was kind of it. Well, they finally get to it. Yep. It's like we finally are going to have our heist, and so
Like I just felt like I'm like by the way, spoiler alerts on my shows. Like if you don't want to know this part, you have to kind of hit mute, come back in a minute, just let me know. We are not going to hold back spoilers because the whole point is to have honest conversation. So every now and again, I'll try not to do spoilers, but we got to be honest, guys. It's free for all.
Yeah.
They kill off characters that I don't care about. Like, okay, they killed only the men. They didn't kill the ladies.
Of course.
Right. They waste all this screen time with like the douchebag Empire guy being a jerk to his kid or whatever. And it's like, none of that was necessary. They waste a whole bunch of time walking around and dragging every scene out. And they give people like TIE fighters taking off, like loading and taking off. So all the stands can be like ooh and on like they did in Kenobi. And I just found it, to me, it's just so generic and bland. And it's like, we're at what, episode 6? It should be episode 3. We should be on like 3. If I could, like, I think you and I talked about, we could take the first 3 episodes and make them into 2, right? And 4 and 5.
Last 2 could be condensed into 1.
Yeah, 4 and 5 could probably be 1. And this is kind of like the start of the 3rd episode. We probably can make it another one too. But yeah, it's just tricky. It's like all this stuff that we're supposed to, I mean, everybody hyped up all that Mon Mothma stuff and all this other like stuff. And I'm like, none of it exists. It's so insignificant. I could care absolutely less.
Yeah. And then what's funny is all this character building that they've done for the last 2 episodes with Andor's little, guerrilla warfare people and the ones that die. It's just like, so I don't care. Like, I just don't have any care for them whatsoever. Like you said, the TIE fighter stuff and everything, some really good visuals. I will give them that. But other than that, what did I really get from it?
Yeah, I agree. I'm so not interested, and I thought that the problem they did with the little plan was they kind of said this stuff like everyone had their role to play, but then what's the point then? Like if the one little nerdy guy died too soon, would anyone know how to navigate their way out of this thing? Like he was the only one that knew how to run that machine and tell everyone what to do. Like no one else. You don't get the hint that anyone knew how to fly this thing. You get no idea how to read the machine.
Well, and Andor was a late add-on, so it's like, did they not know how to fly it before getting him? What was the point?
Well, that was kind of hinted at the one episode. Like, thank God that they got him because it's like they actually knew what they were doing. The one girl, I don't know. I don't even know their names. The only reason I learned a little bit of their names, which I now have forgotten, by the way, because it's been like hours. When I made my thumbnail, I learned their names because I put a couple of little circles in. I actually thought about doing RIP on them on a couple, but I thought that was too bold. Like that was not on brand. But I've learned how to like change my thumbnail structure a little bit, and I thought, wow, that'd be kind of funny. So I'll wait a few weeks and maybe do it as a series finale of all these little dots of all the people, because the whole point is, like you and I've talked about, there's no stakes because Andor doesn't die.
Yeah. Then that's what I was thinking too. It's like, well, we know Andor doesn't die, and you spent these last 2 episodes making me try to care about these other characters that I still don't really care about. Like the one, again, spoiler, the one guy who's like, oh, well, he was a previous stormtrooper. So what does that mean? I don't care. Yeah. Or the one lieutenant, like, oh, he lost his brother or something. Or it was over a girl, wasn't it? He was mad. I don't even remember.
Yeah, the one black dude that works for the Empire, it was during the Empire's takeover of the place that she suddenly got killed, and that's what flipped him, I guess. Yeah, but there's a line about I've been here for 7 years, and then I kind of there's a part in my video where I point out like the barriers look like the traffic barriers that they have for like an interstate, and then there's like one little prop here and there's one little prop there. I'm like, in 7 years, you guys have spaceships and you didn't offload a whole bunch of crap. I mean, you filmed on location. Thank you for that. Yeah. But you're still on the cheap, and don't pretend that I don't notice, I guess is my issue. The slow burn has become like the fuse has gone out and they keep trying to light it and it burns just a little bit. And I just don't, I'm like, I got a feeling these fireworks are never going off. That's how I feel. So,
well, and then of course they had to show that the 2 females had some type of relationship together. Like that was very necessary.
It was, I gotta be honest. I didn't even mention that because I kind of like went, because I felt like as a team leader, that might have been more like, it's all right, hang in there, rather than it be more like, hey girl, it's okay. I actually thought they were going to kiss for a moment. I'm like, holy crap, they might actually kiss. I didn't really get too derailed from that as much as
it was
I assume it just happened, right? I assume if Az watches this video, he will blow it into Az will blow it into 10 minutes of his thing. Yeah, that's kind of that's his brand, right? He takes these, aneurysm responses to every little thing, right?
Yeah.
I can't even tell you how many times he's used the sexual assault word on discussing She-Hulk, and I'm like, okay, that's not really fair. Come on, you're really stretching with your definitions here. But yeah, another episode down. I mean, here's my thing. She-Hulk ends tomorrow. We're only halfway through Andor, and I don't really care any more than I did before. Other than, here's my biggest regret. Why'd they make Andor shave? Because he looked better when he didn't shave. He actually looks so less interesting unshaven. Like he just looks like a child. I don't know. I know this sounds so trivial, folks, but it's there's something about his acting. It seemed like he had a more gravitas in his original look, and now that they've cleaned him up and whatever, I don't even take him seriously at all now. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Well, and then at the end, when that Luthian guy was you could tell he was happy because the news is getting around that the heist happened or whatever. Kind of reminded me of Goodfellas, right? When he heard about the heist in the shower and he's screaming Jimmy's name. But it's just like, what do you do from here? Like, what really is this going to accomplish? Like, what major blow was this to the Empire? Well,
I think it was. And they kind of alluded to this in the last episode. It was about getting the money to kind of fund the rebellion. We're stealing from them, and then we're going to reinvest. It was almost like getting it twice because you're stealing it, taking it out of the system. But here's the thing. All right, spoiler alert, and I'm going to probably keep you from having to watch my video because this is one of my big points was with the whole so what thing. The girls are still on the planet, and the other black dude is still on the planet. How the heck are they going to get off the planet? Because the whole Empire is coming to look for you. You stole 80 million credits. So this isn't like a little bit of a deal. This is like a lot of money's missing. And they have a board meeting of get everyone together, blah, blah, blah. So how are the three of them we don't know. That doesn't get explained. It's just
the only one did the other two black guys are dead, presumed.
One black guy's dead, right? The other guy, the Imperial black guy spot. He got shot too? I know the one that was a stormtrooper got shot. He's done.
And the other one got shot too.
Well, I wish I could tell you that I was going to rewatch it, but I'm not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the other one got shot too, but I don't know. I know the only one I know for sure that's alive is the other girl, and she's just on the planet, just there.
Yeah, she's walking back in her disguise where the village people are. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, there's our Andor breakdown. Matter in it to suffer, so you don't have to. You can watch our videos, and I always tell you just put them on 1.5 speed. I talk fast sometimes, but I think you'll be able to handle it. Put them on 1.5 speed. Get through our videos, and it will save you time because it will still be less. This was a longer episode. This one actually was 40 minutes or something. It was. I
give them props for trying to, I guess, feel like or to attempt something different in the sense because I just felt like everything was so goofy in the other two shows. But I just feel like it went a complete opposite way where the fans that did like the goofy stuff from Obi-Wan and Boba Fett are hating. So it's like a lose-lose. I don't know.
I saw people, it's hard because there's a law of numbers and Twitter just loves to prop up the stands, I think, because there's just no way that you're getting these disproportionate responses sometimes. It's just very strange to me. Don't quite get it. So Joker voice. Yes, we know. Joker says, boring. The only interesting character is dead. Great. Yeah. I started to kind of like the little kid and he's dead. He's done. And Mothma, you mean Nancy Pelosi, right? Tony Gilroy's words, not mine. I don't get that, by the way. I don't think they quite understand what politics are because I'm not sure they understand who they are in this whole good guy, bad guy metaphor, because sometimes I'm watching it going, well, that's this part. This is that party. So anyway, Gap After Dark is here. Hey there, my friend. And then, we'll come back to chat because the lady herself is here. Magitek Mags. Mags, how you doing?
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing?
Oh, we're so
Good.
blessed.
How are you?
Yes.
I hear you were talking about Andor.
Yeah. Well, we'll try to move on because it's like there's not we covered it, so you don't have to.
it's a good thing because I haven't really watched it, so I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm probably not missing too much.
Joker voice. Joker Voice pointed out the one guy, the black dude's supposed to be a stormtrooper, like a reference to Finn. The show and Kenobi served to legitimize the sequels. Yeah, we know the backstory. We know it's all shenanigans.
And
so.
It's all roads lead to Jake Skywalker. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, they don't change anything. And this is even worse because it leads to Rogue One, so they all die.
Yeah, they all die. So, in the end, it's like spoiler alert, y'all. Spoiler alert. They all die. Yeah. I mean, you can like at certain I don't fault anybody for liking certain aspects of what they do present in some of these shows, because some things do feel like Star Wars to some people, but reality check is that all roads lead to Jake Skywalker. So I mean, that's always in the back of my mind whenever this stuff starts coming up. But anyway.
So anyway, some folks are in here making their different comments. Zach's commented that the 80 million credits they stole, if that was Biden inflation or not, I don't know. We don't get they never get that on nose with their stuff, because this is not the only show. Several of their things they think there's a metaphor for the Orange Man or left versus right or whatever. And then because I come from a more political background, I can analyze this and they'll be like, oh crap, we wrote it completely opposite to what we think we are. Because they never want to see themselves as the Empire, but that is how they behave.
Oh, so Mon Mothma is the Nancy Pelosi of the Star Wars universe? Is
that was what Tony Gilroy alluded to in some sort of thing. And it's like, but that isn't playing out. She's not a Nancy Pelosi like at all. She's like a meek, lost, insignificant person. Not the Speaker of the House. Like, it's complete. She's just so at the end of this episode, she has ignoring this speech, and everyone is just ignoring her. So they have that the Senate scene. You know how they have like the Republic Senate scene, like the original the prequel series, right? They couple the shots there on Coruscant,
right?
They have, and she's doing her speech, and people just start leaving and just murmuring. In reality, it's because the news of the heist has gotten out. But it was actually kind of funny because I'm like, everyone's just ignoring this broad. Like, this is crazy. She doesn't even get it. Yeah.
See, what I don't understand then, that means their continuity is so whack, because even in like Rebels or even in the Clone Wars, the animated cartoons, they present her as a very, I wouldn't say a strong female character, but more like a character who happens to be female, who's very assured in her own confidence in what she believes in. So I don't understand this weird continuity error. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, they haven't gotten into anything that is substantive of her, like as a rebellion. They basically, she just talks. The only context we've had, Matt, maybe I've forgotten something, so correct me, is she bickers with the husband who sounds very pro-Empire. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Okay, so I don't really know that she's not strong-willed for the rebellion, because she had one little scene with Luthien, and it was more like crying over money and crying over not being able to move the money around. There wasn't anything
of substance that she, It's just like, oh, if I get caught, I have more to lose than you do. Other than that, it's like, well, what have you actually really done? We don't know.
So. That's a good point.
They don't tell us. We have no idea. So. And Chris says, moving on from Andor, because what little of audience it had already moved on. Yeah, I know. We're trying. We want to make sure we get through chat, though. Okay. This is the only property that is Ahsoka. I got to be honest. I am not a big enough fan that it's going to make a difference for me. So let's be honest. I don't know. So,
I think what he's trying to say is that there is an audience for Ahsoka, whether people want to believe that or not. But I guess maybe some people can watch it in separation. I think that's what a lot of these shows are for some people, like The Mandalorian and such like that. It's people may be watching these things in separation or in isolation from the Star Wars universe, or their version of what Star Wars universe is. But anyway.
Sure. Okay. Abomination AJ's hanging in here. Awesome, man. Awesome. Rogue Attraction as well. Thanks for joining us. Let's see if I've got everybody else. I care less about Ahsoka unless there's a Rebels ties. Yeah, it's going to be tricky. It is an excuse to have a whole bunch of, jangling keys, member berries, and stuff like that. But I don't know that I consider that I have any hope that it'll be, anything really referenced. I don't know.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what these shows like. I'll pick out like, for example, when the TIE fighter buzzed them when they were running.
Mhm.
Like that was cool. It sounded
It
good.
was very cool. It was very cool,
And
and
I'll
it is
take
a,
those.
it's a cool thing.
Yeah, I'll just take those parts with it, and that's it. I don't really like everything else is just kind of whatever. But those cool parts, it's like, oh, that was neat.
It's a shame you don't. Again, if there was this editor out there who wanted to like just sit with me and do a stream for like just an hour, like we can do like a super cut of the whole season and make like one video of like 10 minutes of Andor in 10 minutes, and it would be this action-packed sequence where all these little pieces happen, and we can have an actual story that does something. That we could probably do that. I could have easily done that with Kenobi. It could have easily cut Kenobi into 3 or 4 episodes of actually something happening. There was just so much crap wrapped around it. That was awful. It was awful. Mags.
Yes, sir.
We have not devoted any of our lives to it. I mean, I admitted to the first 2 minutes with like a paper boat or something that she made, but you're my Ring of Power here. So how bad has it gotten? How bad has it gotten?
It is so bad. It's all a bunch of Cheeto dust fell all over it, and it seems.
Oh no,
we got to that part.
I honestly have to admit, my brain was being broken so much. I had to quit after episode 4. I had to for my own sanity. I couldn't watch. I couldn't justify staying up that late to watch it, and and then second of all, it's the dialogue is so mind-numbingly stupid. I don't understand. These people don't know how to human. It's like a bunch of AI wrote the script and they pieced it all together and it came out a jumbled mess or something. I don't understand how these characters interact with one another. It's not, I mean, without sounding like I'm a broken record, but it's not Tolkien at all. I mean, first of all, like everybody else is, I'm not deep in the lore. I'm not as knowledgeable as other people are in the YouTube sphere. But, according to what I know and what I have heard from people is that, Galadriel is supposed to be married at this time with Celebrimbor, or I don't know. I might be saying it wrong. But at the same, but everyone's like, where is he? He's not even here. He's dead. What the heck is going on? So they say that this is, based on Tolkien, and then it's adapted from Tolkien, and then it's something else. And it's like they're constantly shifting the goalposts. And then they tell us that, we're evil people, by the way, for not liking the show. It's like, you know what? Nah, you're doing this to yourself, fam. Go away. It's just, and I've been seeing some of the clips. I've been seeing people's reactions, and I can't do it because my brain hurts, and I'd much rather watch other things. And yeah, so I'm not the best person to talk about it, but at this point, I gave up. I thought I was going to try to do it for people, and let's just say I can't be a masochist like everybody else.
Well, evidently you're not alone. Bifer says, bailed out at episode 4. Yeah,
it was just too much. And the Harfoots, oh my God, I just can't stand them.
So my clip will be called When Ring of Power Broke Mags.
Yes, it broke my brain. It literally did. I wanted to, I don't know if anybody knows Final Fantasy VI, but my avatar is based on the main character, and she turns into an Esper and flies out the window. That's how I feel right now. I want to fly out the window.
Fly out the window.
Just fly out the window, run away.
So, anyway. Matt, whenever you heard about this show and stuff like that, what turned you off from like giving it a fair chance? Is there something that
I actually did watch episode 1, and then I got through half of episode 2, and I was just like, I can't do this. When I saw I guess it's supposed to be Gandalf come out of the sky, and like he was like an asteroid or something. I don't know. And the Harfoot or Harefoot found him in the crater.
That's a good one.
Whatever. I was like, I'm done. Like, this is dumb. I don't get this. This is bad acting. When she jumped off the boat and she swam all the way back. What's her name? Galadriel. Like, I like Lord of the Rings. I've watched the movies. I've never read the books. I like the Peter Jackson movies. I'm not the biggest fan, but it's like, I'll give it a chance as a normie. And I was like, I just have zero interest. This is boring. and I couldn't get through the second episode. And I was like, I don't care how many views these might get, these reviews. I just can't do it. I can't do it. So
it's mind-numbingly awful. And
Yeah.
it's boring. It's no progression of plot. It's all snarling and just it's just I mean some of the lines of dialogue, you can tell that you think that the people behind it felt very like they thought that they were pretentious enough to write like Tolkien, and you can tell that they were honestly pleased with themselves. I mean, that's how out of touch they are. I mean, one of the lines was, there's a tempest in me and blah, 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 blah. And, the first thing I wanted to do was laugh at that because I'm like, what, you're holding in a fart or something? It's so silly. I'm like, it's like they mix it up with such stupid action and other words. And then they have these weird moments where they have this dialogue that seems that probably to them, they think that they're brilliant for saying, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's like y'all think you're so happy and proud of yourselves, and you probably have never had any quality assurance or anybody grade your papers when you were in middle school saying, hey, you probably should reword this a little bit better. It's like,
so Zach is giving us her update here. Celeborn,
thank you.
Celebrimbor is B. Arthur, and Galadriel also has at least one daughter.
Yeah, see, I knew Zach's or somebody in the chat would
they'll keep us honest. Yeah,
they'll keep me honest. I know I'm not in the Tolkien expert here, but yeah.
Well, Jacob Ironside's got it right here. I think this is what my turnoff was. It's not Tolkien, it's tokenism, and because it was just like the marketing was so about the one black dwarf lady, and it was just like I don't care at all, and it
shouldn't even matter.
Yeah,
if it's a good story, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Das Wolfman is here, and he says, "Yeah, I'm still watching it." All right, man. Well, I'll have to check out see if you got videos. So I've got to be honest. I've just kind of like laid low on all of it. I've seen more like headlines and pieces like that. There's certain creators I normally watch a lot of. They're covering all this, and I got to be honest. I'm just going to wait till it's completely done, and at some point, I'll endure and suffer it, and all of you will laugh at my expense with each of my videos because I will probably be because you know how I'm about writing. You guys know how I'm about story, and what I've heard is that is the least appealing element of it all. Like maybe it looks pretty at times and maybe there's a few moments, but the story and stuff is so bad and contradictory. It'll make my head hurt more than it normally does.
And not only that, but it's so jarring. So they have these wide shots where you can tell they definitely put money in to make it seem a bigger world. But then when they have the normal shots or actions or scenes when it's down the ground surface level or whatever, everything seems so small and cheap. And I mean, it's there's no richness or value behind it. There's no heart behind it. I mean, when you look back at the Peter Jackson trilogy and the amount of TLC in that armor and all the detail and every little, I mean, it's like, I'd like to say it in a certain way, but it's like a literal, like I get, gleeful looking at all that stuff because it's almost like an eye.
We were discussing the appropriate terms were last night actually, and I weren't quite sure we came to an agreement on what was it?
Because I have a word in my head, but
I know. We threw out nerd boner and nerdgasm. I know.
I was gonna say it was an eyegasm for me because it's just all this level of texture and detail for the eye, and it's the thing is it's beautiful. It's art. I mean, even the costumes and the armor and the scenery and the way that the poise of even like Kate Blanchett and everybody else, and it's just amazing. And this show just is. It's just
for me, it's
jarring between that.
It's Helm's Deep. Like Helm's Deep was life changing because when it came out in theaters, to have that level of CGI and stuff accomplished in a rain scene was like groundbreaking.
And
like
now
because the next step was Planet of the Apes. Like you saw, I think it was the second or third Planet of the Apes with the rain scene. It's like when they get to those levels with the CGI. And then when you watch these trailers for Ring of Power and you're like, how could you be spending all this money? There's just nothing on screen. There's just nothing there. Who stole all of the money? That's what I want.
And that's the thing. You go from, the world doesn't seem very lived in, whereas in the Peter Jackson trilogy it does.
Sure.
And then you go to then they switch over to the scenes of like the Harfoots, which, for a group of people, they are certainly genocidal. They leave their people behind. And it's just, and they're like, they're supposed to be, hobbits are supposed to be hospitable. And I'm just like, no, they ain't. They leave their people behind. What the heck is going on? And it's so jarring. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, as much help as Zach's was, he's out, and we've lost Zach's too. So
yeah,
another entertainment cope session. Yeah. And this is it. This is it for us now. So, and not sure if I'll catch up or not. I'm with you guys. I'm with you. Castle hates it. There's a tempest in her ? Yeah. Don't they have Middle Earth? Chris Persia, look at you driving really close to the lines here. See what you did there. No, I may have misspoke if I misrepresented that you said you liked it. I didn't mean to imply that you liked it, just that you were still watching it. That's all. I'm sorry if I misspoke. So, and the doctor's in the house. Freaking chat. Don't you love that, Matt, when you're doing comments and the thing just starts going bonkers on you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lack of depth and reason in a very limited vocabulary that it creates. Right. Listen, and no life experience, right, Doc? Like, it's just, it's like, we can talk about comic books endlessly, because I literally have morons writing comic books. Like, I literally have people just sitting around for like 4 pages in a comic book talking about food in a comic book. So yeah,
they've never been told no. They've never been disciplined. That's the participation trophy type stuff, and it shows, unfortunately.
Yeah. We'll try to do some more Ring of Power comments here. Part 1, tokenism, the practice of making only a perfunctory or symbolic effort to do a particular thing. Part 2, especially by recruiting a small number of people from underrepresented groups in order to give the appearance of a sexual or racial equality within the workforce. Yeah, very, very good. Applause. Very good. Some hellos in chat. So y'all think, let's see, Ring's team bought the costumes and armor from Amazon?
I was going to say wish.com, but never mind.
That was the first thing I noticed when watching was the black elf. I don't know his name, but the armor just looked literally plastic and bendable when he was moving around and wearing. That was the first thing I noticed compared to Lord of the Rings or the Peter Jackson movies. I was like, "But this is terrible." Like it's Halloween, like Spirit Halloween stuff.
Right? Yeah. Because one of them did a show, like whether it was Gary or Az, or one they did something. They had like a close up, and you could see like there were wrinkles here because there was like clearly wasn't armor. It was just a shirt. That was kind of, you could see a fold. So like therefore, if you had a far away
nail or something.
Yeah. Exactly what it looked like. Yeah. Says I'm done. The real Rings of Power. I watched the first 3 seconds and shut it off. I made 2 minutes, Cap. So you and I are very similar class. Paper boat and a rock, and I was like, I'm done. I can't deal with this right now.
Somebody, there's a really funny clip out there in case you really want.
This was a really smart comment. I mean, you got to be honest. Somebody. That is a really good idea. Now that's my speed. When this is all said and done, having like a comedy watch, that actually is fine. Like I said, the only reason we got through Halo was we turned it basically into Mystery Science Theater. If any of you went back and watched the Halo episodes, we gave almost every character had a nickname. I even made a couple of fake posters, like Strawberry Spartan. She had her own little fake poster. I took their poster and remodified it so it said Strawberry. And if I can get my hand on those action figures super cheap, I'm gonna make a Strawberry Spartan. I'm gonna change it on the little and send them to Loki. We could do that with Rings of Power. Get enough people in there with a clever nickname, and make it.
That's the best thing to do with that stuff is just mock it into the ground.
Yeah,
just laugh at it all.
And you know what? They think that they're so serious in themselves and their own little world that by mocking them, it shatters it. And I know that sounds very cruel, but in a way, they've been very vicious towards us. I'm just gonna laugh at them. They deserve it.
Yeah, because if you come at them with actual criticism, the normal ists and phobes get thrown at you just for saying, modest or like, just basic criticism, like, hey, this really isn't that good. Not trashing it, right? And then they'll still call you any name in the book. So at this point, it's like, well, you might as well just laugh at them and have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. And Zach's pointing out that Disa, which I think is the Black Dwarf that I mentioned, and that's what I've heard, is that she's actually likable and she's really not relevant to anything. So to build their marketing around the campaign just shows how stupid they are. So Amazon cannot create anything good. Quote, evil cannot create another new. They can only corrupt and ruin what good forces have invented or made. The man himself. That's awesome.
He's right, though.
Yeah. 3D printed armor. That's great. Yes. Crowds of copy and pasted heads. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah,
I'm trying to find it, so I don't know if I'll find it in time, but there's a really funny video of bad lip reading and using some certain scenes in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I think I tagged Zach's and a couple others on it, so it was a couple of days ago, but I'll see if I can find it in time. If not, don't worry about it. I'll send it after the fact, but yeah, it's really funny.
Everybody's teeth in Middle East looks perfect. They don't have crest whitening but that's a problem with just about everything, man. I don't know. We were watching Army of Darkness and they're all like clean and stuff. And I just keep getting distracted in Army of Darkness. Like, gosh, they wouldn't be clean. Like, and I'm talking about like the plebes that were there fighting. I'm like, oh gosh, it just bothers me. So, hey, Bobby's here. Awesome, my friend. Only good thing Amazon's done this year is Terminal List.
Good.
I've got to get to it.
So good.
Me too, Pops. That's another show that's on my list of ever-growing list of things to watch.
If you, whenever you all can, because I don't binge watch shows very often. That I binge watched. That was so good. Very well done.
Yeah, Joker, we did, and we're ready to move on. I know I'm ready to move on. So Mags is completely bailed out. We're not even going to bring it up anymore. But I was kind of like enjoying the Mags rant. Let her get it out of her system. It's middle of the week. She can just go about her life. And, you know, she was taking some of the bullets because I've been doing other shows. That was her. That was my opinion. So, yeah. Yes. So, let's see. So, Matt, let me ask you a question. You and I definitely have an overlapping Venn diagram of a love of a classic film. Turned 40 years this year. I devoted an entire talk hard on it, and you did yours. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like literally like fanboying, trying not to like make too aggressive of a response to push Matt away, having fleeing like, oh my gosh, he's a crazy fan. I'm like, you were like doing The Thing, and I'm like, oh my god, I love it so much. You got to go see Rob Bottin's interview on this. And when she goes, I'm like, okay, I gotta calm down. That movie is so freaking great. Now that you've revisited it, speak on the level of how good this movie is.
It is my best, or it is my favorite sci-fi monster movie of all time. Like, and I know that's probably aggressive to say with like Alien out there and stuff, but John Carpenter's The Thing is just phenomenal. The score, the cast, the practical effects, just absolutely, just the whole. I mean, even if like when I first watched it the first time ever, I really did not anticipate what was going to happen next. I had no idea besides Kurt Russell, right? I didn't assume that he was taken, part of The Thing, but you really don't know the entire time. Like, it really keeps you on the edge of your feet. R.I.P. the dogs, right? That was sad. But but I mean, that whole movie is just amazing from start to finish. Like, it just sucks you. And my daughter, when I first had her watch it, she just loved it too. Like, especially the practical effects was just insane. So yeah, I can't talk about it enough.
All right, well, I will try to go back and put links to Matt's thing.
Yeah, I don't do a deep dive.
Maybe I'll put the Talk Hard link in there too, where I did. Well, I deep dive. I mean, I'm in the weeds with Rob Bottin. For those of you who don't know, special effects in the 80s. I grew up in this era, like late 70s and the early 80s. Is this boom of what I've considered like visionary horror, right? Visionary sci-fi, right? These guys have like, Halloween is made for what, $325,000. We just did Evil Dead. I watched Evil Dead. We didn't talk about it, but it was made for like that as well, like a few $100,000. So Rob Bottin is one of those we don't ever talk about. We talk about Rick Baker. We talk about Stan Winston. We talk about these guys. Well, Rob just kind of flies on the radar screen. And then, of course, he just kind of like went off the grid. Like, Rob's like, I'm out. I'm not doing this Hollywood nonsense anymore. But he and Carpenter become super good friends. And he let Rob experiment. And he's done these videos where he talks about using eggs and all of these different food. So yes, it's special effects in that it's obviously not a monster, but it's a real substance. It's not CGI. It's not fake. So your brain has a really hard time of not being affected by these special effects because everything is always wet. I always joke about Rob Bottin's special effects. They're always wet. If you see an eye, it's going to be real wet looking. It's going to look as real as he can possibly make it. So I love The Thing. I love The Thing. Hey, Mags, have you ever seen The Thing?
No, I have not.
Oh. See, 40th anniversary, Max. We got to get you a copy. It's a really fun, creepy, eerie. It's based on an old 1950s, the thing that came from outer space kind of thing with basically like a plant monster. And Carpenter took the job and said, well, if I can actually adapt it, you guys will leave me alone and let me adapt it. I'll do it. And they said, well, you made a lot of money doing this, so sure, why not? And now it's a classic. It did not do well at the box office at all.
Nope, it did not at all.
It was the worst possible timing you can imagine because you have all these big name movies like E.T. was out, Annie was still out.
Yep.
Like there's a big Clint Eastwood movie out that came out. Blade Runner also came out during this time frame. So like these movies, it was just bad. Nothing went well for these folks. And if it wasn't for the cult VHS era, I'm not sure it'd be a thing. So how many more monster Halloween type things are you doing this month?
I have about, I think it's like a total of 14 I have coming out total for the month.
Wow,
I'm trying to do at least 3 a week. So, and it's not really long. You've seen a couple of them. It's just kind of quick, like, hey, recommendations. This is why I like the movie or whatever. Just random stuff that I just thought about. Like, these are my kind of go-tos that I really like to watch. So just trying to do something different for the holiday and everything. But yeah, I had to. There's no way that I could talk about like a monster type movie and not mention The Thing. Like, it's had to. It's like the top. Besides that, I mean, I actually have like my top favorite or top 5 monster movies of all time. Because I guess, I call that a monster movie.
Yes.
The only thing that would beat that, I think, is Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
I think, in my opinion, and I know it's a very like bold statement, but
well,
other than that,
I'd only argue with the Alien/Aliens. Like, it's a difficult line because technically Alien to me is a far superior film. Like the execution and some of that's just a far. The same with Jaws, they're just far superior execution. Not that Thing is bad. It's just some things can be better.
Yep.
Some things can be a 9 if something is an 8.5. Like, it's okay to make them, So, Max, do you do a lot of Halloween movie watching or any of that kind of stuff? Are you into like that for this time of year? Or you're just like, you got so much going on anyway, you don't have time for more stuff?
Admittedly, I'm not really into horror stuff.
Okay.
Just not. I mean, probably the closest to horror, quote unquote, for me is more suspense thriller type stuff. So if I see anything like that, it would be something from Alfred Hitchcock or if I go into the, I guess, horror comedy route of of Hot Fuzz or something like that.
Okay.
There's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
You will never get any shaming from me for loving Alfred Hitchcock. Psycho, we wouldn't even have this genre, I don't think, if we didn't have Alfred Hitchcock. I mean, Psycho.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Psycho was probably one of my first like nerd out film loves. Like, I saw this movie and I was just blown away and couldn't believe it came out in 1960. And then to know there's all this lore behind the trouble he went through to get it through censors and then try to you couldn't go to, if you guys didn't know, when you go to see Psycho in the theater, you couldn't go late. They would lock the theaters were closed. You couldn't go in late. So it wouldn't spoil the beginning and stuff. Like, you didn't. Yeah. So critics were ticked off. There was no advanced screeners. Yeah. It was just, Psycho is a game changer. Hitchcock is a boss.
And it's not only just Psycho, but also like even as it's probably a little bit much more toned down in Fear Factor, but like Rear Window, where you have all of this thriller and suspense and one, now I don't want to reveal too much if people haven't seen it, but
if they haven't seen it by now, something's seriously wrong.
There's an apartment complex, and Jimmy Stewart, who plays as the main character, is laid up. And he witnesses a murder, and I think he's like a journalist or something like that.
He's a photojournalist in his wheelchair in a giant cast. And a super hot girlfriend.
Grace Kelly is a leading woman. So I mean, it's a pretty good movie. So if anybody likes stuff like that, then
and Raymond
definitely
Burr,
check it out.
Raymond Burr is creeping around, and we gotta just Oh, the
It's
Rear Window's a classic.
it
I wouldn't
is.
consider it horror. It literally is more suspense thriller. I mean, technically
Yeah.
Psycho is a horror because of its era. It's kind of like saying
Mhm.
Frankenstein and those kind of monster movies are horror. They're not horror by our standards, but they are the genre based on their time. We have to hold them in the right kind of perspective. So let's see what chat's been chatting about. Reacher season 2 is filming. Some folks love Reacher. People were big into that. I didn't get a chance to spend time with watching Reacher yet. Did you guys?
I watched some of it. It was pretty good from what I saw. I just had too much going on. I never got to finish the season, but from what I saw, it was actually pretty enjoyable. So,
okay. Let's see. There's Joker voice had to bail out. Postmortem She-Hulk to do. Yeah. We know. Yeah, it's going to be over soon. It's going to be over soon. Yeah. See, so Mark had said talking about some more Star Wars stuff there. Just briefly mentioned that. So. It's good. A Reacher action figure. Is there not a Reacher action figure? You see, this is the problem with modern stuff too, with streaming and stuff like that. They don't really build a franchise. They just keep putting out more content. So part of the building of the franchise is, the merchandise, the T-shirts, and the action figures, and all that kind of stuff. So, I'm trying to go through chat, making sure I don't miss anything major. I apologize if I miss your comments, of course. They had to censor Psycho. No, they did not censor it exactly. The censors were claiming that they could see Janet Leigh's behind parts. They're like, no, that's your dirty brain. Well, I can see her boobs. No, that's your dirty brain. And you have to remember, this is Hitchcock, so he had this sort of like British droll with how he would tell these stories of what he went through to get these made. It had to be shot in black and white because there was no way they could do color because of the blood. So they used chocolate syrup because chocolate syrup would show up and look dark like that, where blood would not. So things like that. Yeah, the lore of Hitchcock era stuff is just, I'm totally uber nerding over here. If anybody wants to talk Hitchcock, feel free to invite me. I'd be more than happy to touch Hitchcock. So here's a good recommendation from Gap. Says Revolution. Oh, Revolution is 2 seasons about power goes out all over the world. Yeah, well, that's a great show that used to be on Old Fox. Yeah, no, I have season 1 of Revolution on disc. That's a great show. Very, very good show. I didn't know it was on Tubi. Yeah, Tubi's got a lot. Tubi's like crack, and there's a lot of good stuff on there, by the way.
Yeah, for free. Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. No, there's a lot. I mean, I think Silence of the Lambs is on there right now. There's a lot of really good stuff on there for free. So if you don't plug into Tubi, folks, it's a lot of free content and stuff like that. So, Mags, I think it's only fair that I do a quick little update with you.
Okay.
I messaged you, so we'll share with chat. We have to put it out in the public. I did finish Cobra Kai season 1.
Yay!
I'm on the game. I'm in the game. Of
how
course.
How do you like it so far?
Well, I was going to say I'm overwhelmed because I've said all these other things. I will say I'm very happy that I have She-Hulk out of my life in a few hours. Like by this time tomorrow, my She-Hulk video will be recorded and uploaded, and I consider that part done. And here's what's going to happen, folks. A whole lot of nothing and teasing for something else to happen. That's what's going to happen tomorrow. It'll probably be about 40, 45 minutes long. It'll be a longer episode than the others. And it'll be a bunch of stuff that doesn't really matter. I don't think her character will really change. And there'll be 2 or 3 cut scenes that will tease other crap, but it'll be over and I can go back to Cobra Kai. Here's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
What great care the creators had before all of this stuff had started. Like this dates back to what? YouTube Red? Didn't they put Cobra Kai originally was on YouTube Red?
Correct.
Before all the streaming wars, Netflix was a thing, but it was different, right? But just such care of what the Karate Kid franchise is and was. And I really love the fact that there's so many Easter eggs and homages without ever seeming obvious. I don't know about you guys. I know, Matt, you've seen at least season 1, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I just felt like it would be like you and me. Like we're just reminiscing about what we went through. It didn't seem forced at all. I just felt like this is who we would be in our lives. This is something that we went through. You see Ralph Macchio putting on the gi and doing some things, but he's not quite good at it yet. But then you can see he's practicing work and he's sweaty. So he's really struggling. There was a little bit of cussing and things like that were kind of off brand from the previous films. But again, it felt pretty real. And I will admit that it's Mags, you said this, and this was the thing I was kind of keeping my eye on, and you were so dead on. So kudos to you. Was everyone seems flawed, everyone seems messed up, no one quite knows exactly what to do sometimes. That is so real life, and all of that has been lost on cinema. That's the best part of the show.
And quite honestly, I feel that, because I would love to do another rewatch, and I feel like I wouldn't be bored by it. I think the key factor in a lot of ratings, people often forget, and especially since we're seeing this now, you see all the Marvel movies come out in the shows or whatever, and then about like 2 or 3 weeks later, nobody talks about it anymore. I think you need to have on your list of things to kind of grade on is rewatchability. Will it hold an audience to actually enjoy it again and again? And it's just,
that's why you're here, Mag. You're speaking my brain. I've always said rewatchability is literally whatever your score is. It should be multiplied by times a rewatchability factor. For instance, Philadelphia is one of the best films I've ever seen. Times 0 chance I'll watch it again. 0. I will never sit through that movie again. Who would want to? Something's wrong with you if you do. It matters. It matters so much, Mags. You're so right. And I do think I would love to hear your take on watching it again. Right?
Yeah, I would love to, because now with more knowledge, because of course I've been watching it on, mostly on my phone at work, trying to, pay attention to both things, multitasking. Everybody does it now, in order to catch up with everything. I'd like to honestly sit down and really, really absolutely enjoy it and just go through it. And then also something that on another live stream, Pauly Latino Slant, so shout out to him, that he had a review of the latest season, and he and the panel were talking about certain seasons were homages to each of the movies. So I mean the normal movies that we all grew up with. Sure. So like seasons 1 and 2 are kind of like the original Karate Kid. Season 3, 4 is Karate Kid 2, and so on and so forth. And it's just really neat how they did that, and they're steadily growing into that. And now it's like I have all this speculation of, okay, so there's the third movie. So who are we going to see next? What's going to happen? What's going to be the callbacks to that? What's the speculation to that for the next season? And it's, getting that kind of excitement again over a show to be able to speculate like a normal fandom. It's incredible. And it's making me want to rewatch the movies again, because I know the first one is a classic. The others are, whatever. But maybe by watching this show and having this kind of, now with I would call it today's hindsight in terms of that knowledge, maybe it'll make me look at the movies a little differently. Maybe I'll catch something and then catch something that to look forward to for the next season. Like, okay, like try to analyze and see who and what are they going to do to bring that closure to some of the Karate Kid universe, so to speak. So it's I'm enjoying it.
Matt, did you watch Cobra Kai recently, or you watched it way back in a while ago?
It's probably been like a year and a half ago when I watched, because everybody was talking about it. I was like, I gotta check this out. And then, that was one thing that you all said earlier that really stood out to me, was just how grounded everything was. How every character, there's not one that was, Mary Sue or anything like that. Like, you related to all of them, you liked all of them. Even if you disliked them, there were solid reasons for that. So I just really, and it made me want to watch the movie again. I haven't watched Karate Kid in a long time. So after I watched that, I was like, oh, let me pop this on. You know what I mean? And it brings you back. And I've only heard good things as because normally how it is now, you get a really good first season and second season's like, or Stranger Things, right? Like second season was okay. Third one was the one that kind of people didn't like.
Well, no, you were the first. So first season, then second season, third is really down, but then 4 comes right back, and you're like, what's happening? No. So here's my thing: the writing for season 1 of Cobra Kai just kept getting better and better and better, because they took the juxtaposition of Johnny's son is this, and then this one Danny's daughter, and then we're going to switch them. We're going to do this, and we're going to switch it again, and we're going to do. I mean, it was so good and then of course it doesn't have to have the Hollywood cliche ending. It's still pretty muddy and doesn't quite go according to the plan. And by the way, life lessons. I'm like, holy crap, this is good writing. I thank you, Mag, so much for just. She looks like she's sweet and innocent down there, but she's so mean. She's like, so Pop, you have got to watch it. No, she doesn't do that, but she does stay on me to like, hey, listen, Pop, I'm telling you, it's so good. It's so good. I'm like, hey, it's fair. I'll get to it. And I think I watched season 1 in basically about a week and a half. It was like I drug it out too long.
Well, and the thing is, it's a good palate cleanser for a lot of the horrible content that we have been getting. And I have to always constantly look at it. When people suddenly go, "Oh, this is such a breath of fresh air," and I'm just like, "All right, are you saying that because we are literally being fed poop, that this mediocrity seems like a breath of fresh air?" But honestly, I don't think Cobra Kai is mediocre. I think it's it's definitely shines on its own without tearing anything else down or tearing itself down. It understands what it is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it doesn't seem, it seems like it cares about the audience too. And you can tell that the actors, everybody involved, are enjoying themselves as well. I mean, they are totally 100% in on it. And that's, when you can sense that energy, that chemistry, that makes it even 10 times better, in my opinion.
The bar scene is what did that for me, where it just seemed like there was this uncomfortableness, and they kept working through it in a very normal way, in a natural way. They bonded over the song in the car. There's little elements, and look, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I can tell the difference between mediocre and non-mediocre, and I constantly have said things. We're talking about Andor. Andor is just meh. It's very generic sci-fi. Doesn't feel like Star Wars. This was one of my biggest problems with Rogue One. Didn't hate Rogue One. Just thought it was okay. Like, it's like, all right. If this easily could have been a season of Battlestar Galactica, or it easily could have been a season of like a Stargate or something. It's just, you just got to change a few nuances or whatever. And it's just like, okay, it's not Star Wars. It's just is what it is. But Cobra Kai, let's go to chat. Chat says, Bobby says, Johnny's best part of this year. Well, Johnny's been given all of the meat of the script. Like, so I will say this, the writers did give actors actual content to actually challenge them. But yeah, Johnny's arc is amazing. And Zach's watched it old school. Zach's, of course, he's OG. He went YouTube right on us. That's freaking great. Dave Reardon's in the house. Hey, Dave. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling better, my brother. That's my friend, longtime friend, one of my closest friends. Yeah, he's joking when he talked about the Shield. I have broken him on Marvel. His family were like Marvel stands, as mine was way back in the day. And I just started the whole process that I do about asking questions. What about this? Now his kids are even broken. So I don't know the latest on how they can even endure She-Hulk, because it's so absurd. So
I don't even want to talk about it. I hate it.
Yeah, we skipped it. I just figured I would. Matt and I have to go through the finale in a few hours. We figured that was rough enough. There's no reason to rehash all that. So are the normies even talking about this stuff? Well, I will say this. Cobra Kai trended. Stranger Things trended. A lot of this other crap is because when you go to Twitter and you see what's trending, what people are talking about, it looks so fake to me.
Yeah,
like
a lot of it is manipulated anyway.
Yeah, Andor, the Andor trending, when you look at the stuff that was there, it was so insanely praising. Like, I cried. I'm like, you cried, really? Yeah. You cried over.
But their ratings are not showing that.
Well, even if they cried, I'm like, well, then you're a child and you're unstable, because this character was on screen for like 5 minutes. Like, there's no, they gave you nothing to cry over. Like, there's nothing there. There's what are you talking about crying? Like, I don't know. Hey, Brandon Looney Tunes is here. Hey, folks, go over and check that channel out, because if you need a break from all the shenanigans, it's like a couple minutes of just some Bugs Bunny, little clips here, little clips there. Always good stuff. Oh, hail ketchup. Phil's here. Hey, my friend. Hashtag ketchup. Phil always makes me laugh. I love hanging out with Phil. Anyway, I got to figure out how to get on one of your shows, Phil. Just kind of hang out there and have a good laugh. So, Keely Chow, roll tide, my friend. Roll tide. Which, I got to be honest, you caught me saying it. I really never like saying it. I'm a Florida person. So what do you want from me? I have to deal with all these people. So, let's see. Yep, Brandon Lou Tunes is at 837. Look at that. It's slow growth, man. You're doing it. You're going to be there. Just tons and tons of all of the back and forth. Marvel stinking. Yeah, popped in to say hi. Oh, Brandon, the anime guy. Oh man, hopefully you're doing well. Hang in there.
He said hello and then said goodbye.
I got you. No, it's okay. Listen,
it's a drive-by.
I have done the same thing to him. He contributed. Andor sucks and quote Disney sucks. Yeah, there you go. Hey, I do the same to him because usually what I'll do is I'll pop in on one of his, and I'm usually just taking some notes of things I don't know that I have to watch. Like I'm so a normie at anime because they even asked me to go on a show once. I was like, I bring nothing to the conversation. Like I am like the last person. Like you want to talk about like 80s anime? Maybe I'm your guy. But no, you can't even get that stuff for free anymore. If I don't have a copy, I don't know what I'm going to do. So he didn't stop. So he that effing sucks. Sony sucks. West. Yeah, I know. Let's see. I missed something. Mark, what are you seeing in Halloween? What are you seeing? I'm sorry, I missed that. Zack Snyder is filming. Oh, Rebel Moon. Yeah, that's the Star Wars movie they didn't want to make. Yeah. I thought it was done. I thought it was filmed in the can, but maybe because of the pandemic, it got all messed up, that kind of thing. So we're coming up on 7, so I don't want to keep you guys too long because I have tons of stuff I could talk about. So you know how I am. I can just ramble about all sorts of crazy nonsense. What is at the top of your list of things that you want to chat about? A new video or something like that, Matt? What you got going on besides you got Halloween stuff and you got, you're going to She-Hulk, going to tap out on She-Hulk tomorrow. What else is going on for you?
Can't wait for the She-Hulk to be done. No, just trying to do more movie reviews. I want to check. A lot of people have recommended the Orville, and I have never watched it. So gonna start. They got
Mags and I hooked on Orville. We both binged through it. Mm-hmm. Mags, give him your take on Orville, and then I'll do mine.
It's a really good show. So think of it as it's definitely an homage to Star Trek because Seth MacFarlane is a huge Star Trek fan. Yeah. There is some humor in it, but it makes sense for that world because they don't take themselves too seriously on what they are. But the amount of TLC that they put into it, as far as the story, the sets, even the ship designs, the world building, I think you'll enjoy it. Especially with modern new Trek is so bleh. It's really fun. It really is. And and in each episode there's some lessons in there that do challenge you in terms of what you think. And there might be some parts that seem to be not as subtle as others, but they try to come at it from a fair point rather than just be preachy about it. So there is that, just to kind of give you an idea of what to look forward to, and not feel like, hey, this is what I was expecting. But there is some humor. There is really good character growth, story arc, world building, and that's something that's pretty lacking in today's Hollywood. Yeah.
Well. So it's
and the CGI does not look fake at all. It looks really, really good.
Well, it keeps getting better. It keeps getting better. So season 1 is really, really good. Heavy on great storytelling and a lot of fun. We hadn't watched it because my wife can't stand Seth MacFarlane, and I thought it would be like Seth MacFarlane humor all the time, and I'm just kind of over that.
Yeah.
But he brings a lot of that levity to it. But like she said, great standalone episodes, but great character development. Very little is weak in season 1. Season 2 is also very well. It steps down a little bit, especially at the end of season 2. There's like some time travel stuff I didn't care for too much, but I'm kind of a time travel snob where I very rarely can find any of that actually works well. But as she said, special effect, more money, right? Better special effects, better world building, just keeps getting better. Season 3 starts off really strong with a couple of episodes, and then it kind of drives all over the map. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on season 3 because it's the highs and the lows and the whatevers. And the fandom is very divided on season 3, in my opinion. So
it seems a little, you could tell that there were some questions of whether they were going to be renewed. So you can tell there were some things on that mind. So,
but I think they got more.
They got their swing back.
they got more political and agenda
Yeah.
at times. They try to do things. I think that this is kind of what you're going to have a pet peeve with, Matt, because you're like me. It's like they're not as clever as they think they are.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They think they've coded something or they've hidden their agenda when in fact it's like right there for you to see. So
Yeah.
that's kind of the issue in season 3. There's a couple episodes where that was kind of the thing.
They did wrap it
Still better
up.
than most TV.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
definitely, I think the middle part of season 3 was like, yeah, not
Yeah,
my
yeah.
favorite.
At the end,
But
it's better. Yeah, the last
the
couple episodes are fine.
the ending is worth it, and then definitely season 2 was their best season by far.
Yeah.
So
Chris Persia says, "What Disney sucks? What it might have something to do with the not creating anything but merely growing new toadstools off the fallen redwoods of the story's past." Hail, Chris Persia! Great comment.
That was
Great
that's
way to
spot
summarize
on.
it as well. Yes, indeed.
mm.
And Dave did say, yeah, and I will vouch for Dave too. He'd said previously that She-Hulk was so bad they basically just canceled Disney Plus. They just bailed out. He just bailed out. He told me that too. I tease him all the time. Have you seen this? And he's like, no, I canceled it. Have you seen this? I canceled it. I said, oh yeah, I keep forgetting because I have press access and I have, I'm like, email me if you don't want to spend the money at all. I can give you a website that might be able to help you out. Just saying.
Sail the 7 seas.
Yeah, something. You'd be shocked at what's out there. So it's not like my wife freaked out. You're on what kind of? I'm like, it's not like that, baby. You don't understand. The world's changed. All right,
The
well,
world is growing.
So yeah, man, awesome. I'll look forward to that. Hopefully get you on the Orville train. We could have a chat about that sometimes. I'm going to be on Matt's show soon. We're going to get our schedules to link up because he's promised me Batman night.
Yes, we definitely have to talk that. And you know how like my member streams talk more comics and stuff because I'm always picking up comics if I could find them. But yeah, and just other old. I don't want to talk about. I like to cover pop culture news and what's going on, but I'm trying to relive and go over some of the stuff that we really enjoy and love. Like you're talking about Jaws soon, so I'd love to do more streams of that kind of stuff where you just focus on the great movies that we grew up with and love and what made us love cinema. So
yeah, I do both. I think it's a spot. It's just not that hard to do both. It really really isn't. So, but no, that was a great segue, which was totally unplanned for those of you at home. That's how you do segues. You just have someone that you like, and you just in your brain just go, all right, segue off of that. I crossed 1,500 way faster than I thought. So I think maybe in 2 weeks, in lieu of a Pops Talk Mags, we'll do a celebration for 1,500.
Woo!
And my memberships are live, so people will have members, but I won't do a member stream quite that fast. I want to wait probably until the following month. However, I have my first wave of giveaways set aside. I thought I would share some, tease everybody, so you won't want to miss. Oh, I got a few more of these bad boys, Tron wax packs from 1982.
That was cool.
Give some of that away. And I found this. See what happens when you're trapped in your house for a hurricane, folks? You start going through stuff. Because when I moved, there were probably boxes. Here's what I've explained. There are probably boxes that look like the bottoms were going to break or something. And I panicked and they put them in a drawer. But when you fill up the drawer, because I pack things very safely and carefully, Matt will know when he gets his comic books. And I'm like so OCD. They're going to be wrapped in bubble wrap with blue tape and the whole nine. Right. I found these and I text the boys. When I refer to the boys, for those of you at home, I'm talking about Talk Hard, the Talk Hard boys. I said, guys, you're not going to believe this. Holy crap. I have original Return of the Jedi wax pack.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
and
sick.
Indiana Jones.
Oh, I got to do an Indiana Jones stream too.
Yeah.
That's on the list.
So I got those to give away. We'll do the wheel spinny thing, Mags.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out. And in the comic book land, because I got to give away comic book things. So I'd gotten a whole set. So I had extras of these. This is what you do when you buy comic books in bulk. Like you still live like you're having a shop and your wife freaks out. Like you spent how much money? I said, no, baby, it wasn't that much. You sell these pieces to pay for the other stuff. Well, I still have extras. So this is Action Comics. This is the anniversary. The Action Comics 1000. This is the one. It's a set. So you get the set. You get the regular one. The Virgin cover doesn't have the logo. And the sketch cover variant to go with it. So it'd be a set of 3.
That's
so
awesome.
That'd be another giveaway. That's at the top of the list. There's other things that I may just pull aside and and throw out there and do that. But it's a way of saying thank you to you guys, because you guys are the reason I'm doing this and having fun hanging out. And with that, but look at this. First is Matt, and now Mags. Mags, thank you so much. My goodness, it's just, and you've been such a blessing to me to do this show and stuff like that. So let's see, Mags, we did. I don't think you were here for these. Let's see. I can make Mags laugh with this. So it's like,
if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. What?
never stops. Never stops. To be fast on the mouse with this with the system. Well, thank you again, Max. That's awesome. Thank you so much. No, we're gonna do member streams probably next month. Early in the month, we'll set aside a night and just chat, just do whatever, and go from there and see where it leads us. But yeah, the 1500 thing, I got it. I got to give some stuff away and just say thanks to people. And if you win a pack of cards, you can have the option of, we can open them all together and show you everybody what they look like and what they are, and then I'll mail it to you that way, or you can have the sealed pack, whatever you prefer. I have no preference whatsoever. And there's a lot of rumors that I'll chew gum. So chew gum will cost you. For those of you that are out there, you will have to pony up some money. The spontaneous cost on the football pack from 1983 was $50. Now, I will admit, they were so rigid, they would pop. I don't know that I could physically chew them. So I don't know that I actually can. I don't even know that I can get enough moisture. I'd have to soak them in water, so just to be able to make it actually that you could physically chew it. So,
or break a tooth.
No, I don't think it'll break. I think it's just like dust. Like
really?
It's just there's just nothing there. So, Chris Persia, oh my gosh, the mod himself stepping up. Thank you so much, my friend. And he has just done so much for me behind the scenes. And I'd come out of the hurricane. Well, I didn't ask your permission, so I'll ask for forgiveness if you didn't want me to say this, Chris. But I appreciate it so much. Obviously, I'd come out of the hurricane. Things are still crazy. He knew I got to go to work, whatever. And he just did my thumbnails for Talk Hard. He just did like 3 or 4 of them. Got your thumbnails going for you. And I'm just like,
that's awesome.
You as you guys know, Matt, I know you especially because you're just trying to juggle a full-time job and do this. Every step of this is so time consuming.
It is. It's anxiety. It's like, oh no, I got this. I got to do the thumbnail. It's like, oh, when am I going to have time? I got to watch the show.
And the fact that he rocked it like that for me, it just, because there was so much chaos still trying to deal with everything. It just meant the world to me so much. So, you know what, Chris? For that, let's go with some Jack Bird.
Thank you. Have you paid your dues, Jack? Yes, sir. The check is in the mail.
There you go. Thank you, Chris Berger. It's great to have you just be even more partnered with me than you already are. I appreciate it so much. So, I don't know. You guys have to tell me what you think of my little clips. I've tried to figure out everybody does all these different things. I'm like, well, I got to find something that fits me.
Right.
Like cool. a little thank you, then a little clip, and then my famous Great Gatsby toast, which I just still laugh at the toast. So. Which makes me laugh. So, Zach is going to go to bed. So it's 1 a.m. there, he says. So, yeah, I appreciate that, my friend. I'll get my membership stuff figured out when I get home. Hey, man, you got to get your whole site back up and running, man. Zach got demonetized because of nonsense, and he's probably out of probationary period by now, and he'll be up and running when he gets back into the country. So
one can only hope, right?
It's not as bad as you think. And I think, Max, you weren't here earlier. We were talking about it. Like, there are some little nuances and little tricks that you can do. If someone can ask me if you want a little help or whatever. I will say this, please don't ignore it all. Don't allow it to just sit there. Don't have like a whole bunch of claims piling up or whatever. It'll eventually just make your life miserable. And you're leaving money on the table. It's not that hard to get those monetized. You just got to do a little cleanup. And Jacob Ironside is proposing something that will never, ever happen. There is no chance in a million years I would ever snort the gum, which is pretty much.
That would hurt.
I have such horrible allergy and sinus problems. It would probably kill me right on the air. My wife would panic. Like, she'd just be like, oh my gosh. Cause yeah, that's crazy. That's not, that is never, ever going to happen. So let's see. Yeah, we can just go. We could stop there. That's good. We got through a lot. There's always more to do. So yeah, Matt's got a ton of content. His link's been out there. You can check that out. Mags, what's going on with you, man? When am I gonna be on with Mags? We gotta do a stream or something, Mags. We can hang out. We need to watch a Hitchcock movie or something that you love.
Yeah, we should. Well, I am, of course, around. I'm everywhere.
She's the best YouTube cheerleader on YouTube.
Yeah, trying to boost everybody. I mean,
You do.
I like to encourage people. The more voices out there, the better. That it will overwhelm the crazies that don't want us to voice our opinions. So definitely continue to tag me out there in the Twitterverse and anywhere else to get your stuff shared. But yeah, you can check me out in the chats. Usually you can find me modding in Midnight's Edge After Dark. So shout out to them as well. And then it depends. Sometimes I'll get invites the day before, and I'm like, okay, I'll get on. So
she's the best, and it's just great that she'd come and hang out with me regularly like this. We're just always trying to have some fun, and I appreciate it. And by the way, Soul Assassin, that's so true. Actually, there is a very unique card smell and a very unique comic book smell. Ask my wife. I have heard many a times. Okay, hold on. Yeah. So. Yes, and Loki. Yes, Mags does. Mags is.
Hi, Loki.
Mags is taking names. Mags is taking names. So I will be on with Loki tomorrow morning, 9:00 Eastern time. For those of you that are up enjoying Mornings of Mischief, it will be Pops Day. So we'll have our Thirsty Thursday of the month. We do it about once a month. We can get my schedule to align with that early. Well, I'm up super early, but I have work obligations to get to. So.
Yeah.
A live stream needs a maiden fair. Encourage them to go farther. Where a channel is lacking in wrenching power, they will always find Magitek Mags. That is beautiful. Good job, Chris Persia. Awesome.
Oh gosh,
done.
you guys.
Well done.
That is very, very good. That's top notch right there. Yes. So they got a little link for Mags. Yeah, go check out Mags. She's done some cool stuff. So she's gonna sing. We got to get more singing.
Yes. I do
need
to do that.
I want to get a Mags to sing me a song. I gotta figure out a song.
I know Happy Birthday, but apparently Happy Birthday can get you copyrighted. So
really?
They copyrighted that?
Yeah, well, they tried to do something like that, but it failed in court.
Okay.
But it's just it's kind of a running gag.
Yeah, that's not going to hold up the scrutiny plan or whatever. And I have to admit now, I've gotten so bitter because I don't think I've lost anyone. The closest thing to losing is I know I did it wrong and I'll clip it out or whatever. I consider that not really losing. I know I let it play too long or something like that. But I get jaded and bitter. Like, no, I talked all over this. This is fair use, and the tone of my responses are just getting worse and worse and worse. I'm losing my cherub-like demeanor with these people. So. No, Chris, she didn't sing for me, but I caught her singing on another stream or two. I've caught her singing, so she's beautiful. So.
Thank you.
We got to put it with our context. But, well, guys, thank you so much. It's been great. Chat is freaking on fire. We love you guys so much. You do this and make it all just worth it. Just it's so awesome. So thanks for that. Thanks to all you new members out there. You're just making everything just I'm so excited. It's just been so much fun already. I can't even imagine what's going to happen next. Great to have Matt on with me finally, be able to have that. We're going to partner with him and do more content together. And we have to go out with a smile. So what's a better way to do that than go with one of my spirit animals? Go with some Bob Ross and, chill a little bit.
Bob Ross, all I do is chill. My life is a thrill, for real, Bob Ross. I be too calm for the drama. You don't want to cause a problem, I'll solve it, Bob.